How many of you are flexible? And before Justin can go, he hadn't given me a check yet. Before Justin can go, he's going to have to tell me he's flexible. Because when you go down there, things are not going to go the way Jimmy wanted it to. Or things are not going to go the way Justin wanted it to. I was talking to Josh yesterday. I got in touch with him, and he told me, he said, one man's not going to go. We were kind of concerned about this one man because he's not real flexible. And I'd already been to talk with him, and he said, oh, yeah, I'm flexible. But now he's backed out because his mom's up in age, and he decided he shouldn't go. And we're going, that may be a blessing. Because if you're not flexible, then you're not going to have a good time going on a mission trip. But when we are sharing, we've got to be listening to what God is telling us. Go to the next one. Feeding a village is one thing that we've done. This is the Yawas. It's an indigenous tribe, and I think, Pastor Ricardo is on the right-hand side. Jennifer, and then Pastor Ricardo. Pastor Ricardo came to me. In fact, Jeanette was on the mission trip when Pastor Ricardo came into the city, and he had prayed the night before. He said, Lord, I need someone to help us in our village. No one comes to our village, especially to teach us about Jesus. And Lord, will you show me somebody to help us come to our village to teach us more about Jesus? We need to know more about Jesus. And the next day, he saw our interpreter, started talking with our interpreter. He shared this prayer, and our interpreter said, well, the Lord has answered your prayer. Here's Jimmy. He's going to be coming more and more. And so Pastor Ricardo, he's the pastor and the chief of this village, he came and talked with me and shared his heart. And I fell in love with him and knew that God wanted us to keep going there. But we also found out about their need. A man from Spain, and you'll get to meet Pastor Ricardo, because I go there every time I go to Iquitos, because their little village is about 30 minutes by boat to this village. He shared that a man from Spain had bought their land. This is an indigenous tribe. And this man from Spain didn't want them living there anymore. So he's trying to run them off. He's tried to run them off. He hired some thugs to go in and burn the village down. And Pastor Ricardo was telling us when that night that the thugs came in to burn the village down, God sent a torrential downpour. I mean, it was just raining cats and dogs. They never could light a fire to burn the village down. So they left. Well, back this past December, this man from Spain, he decided to hire the corrupt law enforcement people in Iquitos. And he hired these people, and they came in and actually burned the village down. And we saw them in January, and this is a picture taken in January. So they were rebuilding their village. In fact, the government had found out about it. The government is now giving them money to rebuild their village, and they pretty much rebuilt the village by now. But this was the time when they were trying to rebuild, and they didn't have much food. So we bought the village food, about $100 worth of food. Fed a whole village of 100 probably for at least a week, which is amazing. They pretty much live off the land. But so we look at needs and see how we can help people. You think that made them happy? Of course it did. Made them have a better life just for a week. So Feed Village is something that we do. Something else that the Lord has just put upon my heart, that's the next one, Chris, is giving clean water. We prayed about it, and I had a ministry in Florida give us a well drilling machine. Anybody know how big a well drilling machine is? It is pretty big, and this is a portable one, but it's still big. And they gave us a well drilling machine, and we've been trying to figure out how to get it to Peru, and they've telling us it's between $4,000-$5,000 to ship it down there if it gets down there. When you put it on the boat, we're not guaranteed it's going to be there. Plus, once we have to get it down there, got to put it on another boat and put it down the villages, take it back out. So back in December, the Lord showed me the Sawyer water filter system, and I forgot to bring it, but you'll be able to see some pictures. In fact, on the right-hand side, you see that little filter. That's what we're giving away now. It's about that big. It works the same way the kidney dialysis machine works, and the water flows through there. 1 million gallons is guaranteed to come out of that little filter, which is truly, truly amazing. Now, these people drink, they go out to the river, and they drink the unclean water. 80% of their sicknesses comes from drinking this bad water. But this water filter filters out those bad things that they drink. And I'm just going to show you a few pictures, and Chris, you can go through these right quick. This is the Bora tribe that we gave. This is about a month ago that we gave the filter to the Bora tribe. Next one. This is the Urinas. This was back in January when we were way up in the jungle. The Urinas live about 200 miles from the city, and we take a boat. We go to the road ends, and Justin will do this. Justin, what we'll do, we'll get in a taxi, and this is a taxi on narrow roads, about like this one. Dogs, people hanging out, because it's a jungle road, but they do have it paved now, and we'll go, it's about 40 miles, and we'll go down that road to the road ends. The road will not go any further, and then we'll get on a boat, and we'll go to the Urinas. And this is Curienchi Village. As Pastor Jose, met him several years ago, and we've been going to his village. But that's the Urinas that we work with, and you can kind of see their hut there, how they live. Their huts don't have walls. You've got the 4 posts. So, Justin, you're going to need a tent to go up inside of this hut, or I take hammocks. I love sleeping in a hammock with bug netting. It's just a little bit softer. Jeanette and I, when we went back March a year ago, we took a tent. I bought it's a nice air mattress. I said, I don't want to get down there and that thing go flat. Nice air mattress. First night, went flat. I'm going, there's no electricity in this place, so you just can't hook it up and then blow it back up. So here I get my hand pump, middle of the night. Well, about 2 hours. Everybody, what's going on? I'm pumping up our air mattress. 2 hours later, it's flat again. So I did that 3 times during the night. Well, we stayed there at that place one night, and the pastor of another village had an air mattress, so we were able to get another air mattress, thank the Lord. But I'd rather use a hammock. But this is the Urinas. And then back last month, we went to a village, Manakamiri, and they had a school. A lot of these places have schools, and one of the things that Justin is going to give out is a list of things that we're going to take. Now, this is a pretty nice school here. Once we get to the Urina villages, they just have pretty much a teacher, and pretty much all the villages we go into, we're not having school. And I said, why? Well, we don't have notebooks and pencils. So one of the things we try to do, we try to take notebooks and pencils with us, and that'd be something good that you can do. Justin can take that with him. But in this school, we were able to share with them, and we gave them a water filter. This particular village has several wells, but it was a little bit harder for the school to get it, and we spoke there to the school. Go to the next one. This is the Yawas. Again, this is Pastor Ricardo's village, the Yawa village, and Y-A-H-U-A. You can Google them. You'll find out more about the Yawas. But again, my goal is to give at least one filter per 50 people in the village. Now, the ultimate goal would be one in every hut. That'd be the ultimate thing. But again, it can run, and then people from other huts can come and get water. And I talked to Pastor Ricardo this time, and he said it's really making a difference in our village. He said we don't have near the sickness that we used to have because, again, drinking the bad water, of course, they try to boil it, but most time you see them, they're down there swimming, they're drinking the water, they're brushing their teeth in the water, with the water, and they're just using it. So they're always having stomach problems. And Justin, now, y'all need to be praying, and maybe somebody else might want to sign up too, because it's not too late yet to go in October. One of the things that we'll do, what we first started doing, we were taking 6-gallon bottles of water with us. But they were big and heavy, and I said, listen, if we're going to tell these villagers to drink the water with this filter, we're going to drink it as well. So we don't take all that water. We get the water right out the river. We use the water filters. And go to the next one. This is Pastor Ricardo and his wife, Kelly, and their daughter, Sylvia. And I've tried to bring Sylvia back with me several times. I tried to trade shoes for her, but the pastor just will not let me bring little Sylvia back with me. And so, Justin, you might could bring some shoes or something and bring your little kid back with you. Yeah, you can ask Renee. And go to the next one. Something else that we try to do. We try to take at least a nurse, or never have taken a doctor yet. We want to take doctors with us, but medical and prayer is something that we do. And this is Jennifer on the left and Kelly on the right. They went with me in January. But medical and prayer. And if you go to the next slide there, you see Jennifer. Jennifer is a nurse practitioner over in Augusta, and she's a hunter, a fisherman. She bow hunts, and I wasn't concerned about her going away in the jungle, and she said, I want to go, and she slept in an Eno as well, but she's a nurse, and she wanted to go. In fact, Jeanette and I will be going in August again, and Jennifer's going with us. Jeanette's going to be helping with her teeth. She's a dental assistant, and we got another pastor going in August. But Jennifer said, I want to go. And then once she went, she fell in love with it. She said, I want to go back. So she's going back again. Now, the next picture is a picture of Kelly. You got any farmers here? Nobody? Any peach farmers? I need some peaches before I go back home too, Justin. Are any peaches close around? I lived in Philippi, Johnston for a while. I know there's peaches around. But here was Kelly. I went to his church about a year ago. And he said he knew that God wanted him to go somewhere. And then when I came, he said, Peru is where I'm supposed to be going. So after his farming year kind of was up in January, he went with me and just fell in love with it. And Kelly said, I can't do a whole lot. He said, but I can pray. So Jennifer would kind of meet their needs with medical, and then they would go over to Kelly, and Kelly would pray for them. And now Kelly's not a preacher. He's not a teacher, but he's just an ordinary person like you in the pews of a church. And he said, I want to go because I know that God wants me to go. So he went, and you know what, Justin? He's dying to go back. He keeps calling me. He'll call me about every 2 weeks. He said, Jimmy, I just got to go back. He said, I'm wanting to go back so bad. He said, I can't stand it. Jennifer's going back. And he said, you're going back in August. And he said, I can't go back in August. I said, what about January yet? I can go in January. You going to go in January? I said, I'm going in January. He said, well, I want to go. I said, you're fine. You can go. But he does. He gives his testimony and just loved it. So that's just an ordinary person sitting in the pew who felt like God saying, I want you to go. Now, the next one, college students, and I know we've got some younger people here. Just took a group of college students, and you see them kind of scattered out there. But these people are making a difference in people's lives. I went to Charleston Southern a while back, and I kind of shared with them what Hanf Ministries was doing, and had a bunch of people said, well, I'd like to go. Well, all said and done, we had 4 that went with us, and I think I got a picture of them. Next picture is a picture of the 4 students that went with us from Charleston Southern, and they fell in love with it. In fact, the boy on the right, they came to our house last night, and they ate, and we talked about the trip. The boy on the right, his name is Chase. And the whole time we down there, after 3 or 4 days afterward, he said, I love it. I want to come back. So he was telling me as we were driving back from Miami, he said, you think I can go in December on my Christmas break? I said, well, I don't know if I'll go in December. So I told him last night, I'm going to be going back in January. When are you going back in January? And I said, well, I'm not exactly sure yet. He said, well, we get an extra week during January this year. And he looked it up last night, and he said, we don't go back to the 22nd. Think I can go? I said, yeah, you can go. Then he said, I'd like to go all summer. This young boy's wanting to go all summer next year. So the Lord just really got a hold of him. And he's a country boy, lives over in Cordova. I don't know if you know where Cordova, South Carolina, near Orangeburg. But he's wanting to go back. And all 3 girls are wanting to go back as well. But they're making a difference in people's lives. Now, did they know how to do a lot? No, they didn't know how to do a lot. But they built relationships. They taught some of the children, and they gave just small testimonies in the churches and all, but just hung out with people. And the people just kind of flocked to them. So you see that picture? That's in the village of Manakamiri. And here is Bill Fender, the next one. Bill Fender is 85 years old. His wife passed away. Junior, you were telling me your wife passed away in 2006, and Bill's wife passed away last year, and been married for years and years and years. And when you saw one of them, you saw the other one. Well, he'd just been depressed, and Bill's like a second father to me. And then finally, a few months ago, I said, Bill, why don't you go to Peru with me? I'd love to go, but I just don't know.